Coming up in Our News Live at 7, an eyewitness account of a grocery store robbed at gunpoint this morning. The death toll rises from a tragic weekend crash in Andros. And police reach across regional borders for help in crime-fighting tactics. And then in Our News at 7:30, police make a $7 million drug bust in the southern Bahamas. Welcome to Our News Live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Marlena Leonard, sitting in for Candino Knowles. Now, early morning shoppers at a popular grocery store on Cable Beach were held up by a gun-wielding armed robber this morning. The shocking crime unfolding at Quality Supermarket on Cable Beach, leaving staff and customers in shock. Our News spoke with an eyewitness just moments after the incident.
He went to one of the registers and had trouble getting the funds, so he went to another register. The cashier is shaken up. We don't know exactly how many funds was taken, so it was an undetermined amount of money that was stolen from the store. No one was hurt. No customers was hurt. Everything is okay.
That's Assistant Store Manager Yolanda Dorsley recounting the frightening events that unfolded just after 10 this morning. She says once the suspect left the store, they quickly called the police. Still traumatized, Dorsley says it was like a scene from an action movie, adding this is something she has never experienced before.
First incident that ever happened to me, so I'm a little shaken up as well. But the incident happened and nobody was hurt, so I'm grateful for that. Business is back in business. Everybody's okay. The cashiers are a little shaken up, so we're going to definitely take care of our own.
The robbery has sent shockwaves throughout the community, with many expressing concern over the brazen nature of the crime. But Dorsley says it won't deter them from doing their jobs.
Going forward, we making sure that incidents like this don't happen again. So we're going to have protocols to make sure that we could basically limit the amount of times that incidents like this can happen.
The death toll rising from a tragic accident in Andros over the weekend. A third man, one of the injured passengers, succumbed to his injuries. Police say the accident happened south of Stanyard Creek in North Andros shortly before 1 a.m. on Saturday, involving a Toyota truck and a Honda Accord. Both drivers died on the scene. The passengers were taken to Fresh Creek Medical Clinic for observation and medical treatment. And that wild weather over the weekend caused a lot of delays, especially at the Lynden Pindling International Airport. In- and outbound passengers faced rolling delays and even some cancellations. Vice President of Operations at the Nassau Airport Development Company, Jonathan Hanna, admits the bad weather suspended operations mainly over safety concerns, but gave his assurance it was always under control.
One thing we always tell the public, especially on days when there's a lot of inclement weather, and the airlines would say it as well, it's safety over schedule. So certainly while it would have led to an inconvenience for a lot of persons, traveler safety and the safety of the traveling public is always paramount. And so we did what we had to do. We had to implement some of our irregular operational plans, but once the weather passed on Sunday, we were able to catch up. And again, like I said, it was an inconvenience for some passengers, but safety will always be paramount in this business.
Passengers complained of delays on the ground and in the air, claiming not enough gates were available to handle the traffic. Some passengers also raising concerns about the safety of the aircrafts placed in a holding pattern, awaiting clearance to land. Hanna couldn't respond directly to those concerns, citing it's air traffic control that handles air traffic. However, he gave this explanation of how weather can cause a slowdown in operations.
Once something happens in the business, it's a cascading effect and then sort of has an impact on everything else. And so, again, it's more about making sure that everyone is safe. Obviously, when there's weather, in any airport, it tends to slow things down, regardless of however many gates you have. Weather's going to slow things down because things are happening at a much slower pace. And again, just ensuring that safety is always paramount in what we do.
Now, during our 7:30 newscast, our Italia Hall speaks with the Vice President of Operations about the upcoming Easter holiday weekend, as the airport is expected to be extremely busy. And still on the topic of weather, it's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Marlene, and a happy evening, everybody. Another beautiful evening setting up for us after a nice day. Temperatures not too uncomfortable. Almost 80 degrees earlier, 77 outside right now, few clouds. It is still breezy, winds out of the east-southeast at 12 miles per hour, and your feels like temperature is at 76. Temperatures around the islands right now, it is 76 in Freeport, 74 in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. We pick up 77s in Alistown, Bimini, Great Harbor Key here in the capital. Nicholstown, Andros, you are 78. Over in Governor's Harbor, 75 degrees. Central Bahamas, 77s. Kemps Bay, Georgetown, Deadman's Key, 75s in Arthurstown, Cat Island, Coburn Townsend, Salvador. And into the southeast Bahamas, temperatures also in the 70s there. We're looking at basically 77s to near the 80-degree mark for the southeast Bahamas. Satellite and radar composites showing quiet conditions across the area. That high pressure is still in charge. We have some patchy clouds moving out of the Atlantic, courtesy of that southeast to easterly breeze. Not much in terms of any rainfall, but that high pressure will continue to dominate our weather through Thursday before we see a frontal boundary getting here. Very weak one. We could see a couple isolated showers during that time frame. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us to look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, a plea deal puts an accused serial rapist behind bars for 10 years. Plus, find out how our police force is reaching across borders to fight crime. Then, later in Our News at 7:30, managing the heavy holiday traffic at LPIA. All that and more when Our News returns.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions. Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-17.
A convicted serial rapist takes a plea deal and gets a 10-year prison sentence. His crime involves 4 sexual assaults back in 2021. Devon Seymour pleaded guilty to 6 charges, including rape and armed robbery, when he appeared before Justice Gregory Hilton. The 3 years that Seymour spent awaiting trial will be deducted from the sentence. His crimes span the period from January and March, raping 3 women and stealing 2 cell phones, all in the Carmichael Road area. Seymour abandoned his attempt to rape a 4th victim after she put up a struggle. A little neighborly crime-fighting help for our police force launched this week. It's called the Better Police Readiness in Caribbean Law Enforcement Organizations Project, also known as BPRO. It was introduced to the Bahamas by the Pan American Development Organization. It's a 3-year intervention project involving coordinated activities across regional countries. Partner states include the Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Barbados, and Suriname. At the launch this week, Police Commissioner Clayton Fernander spoke to why the Bahamas' participation is important to the work of the force.
The negative impact that transnational crime has on the society requires law enforcement support from a local, regional, and international basis. The timing of this initiative is on point, given the state of our communities and the pressure of at-risk youth being encouraged to join gangs and turn to life of crime. The topics which was identified for the next 3 days include leadership development, community policing, CSI, domestic violence, intel, and technical support.
During the launch ceremony at police headquarters, Director of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs at the U.S. Embassy Nassau, Todd Christensen, shared his personal experience in witnessing the impact in the Dominican Republic.
I was presiding over the rollout of BPRO in the Dominican Republic, and I saw the collaboration that the experts had with the Dominican Federal Police. I saw the work that they encountered every single day for multiple months, if not years. And what I saw in the end, and what I see evolutionary as it relates to the project, is incredible improvements.
When Our News comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as a busy Baltimore bridge collapses early this morning. Plus, 4 Russian men charged in a concert hall massacre. U.S. agents raid the home of R&B superstar P. Diddy. We have the details when Our News returns.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions. Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Investigators are in the infancy stages of trying to understand how the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, Maryland collapsed around 1:30 this morning after it was struck by a 984-foot cargo ship. At a news conference this afternoon, Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott described it as something out of an action movie, saying saving lives should be the focus after the unthinkable tragedy. Officials believe at least 7 people were thrown into the water after the collision, which closed one of the busiest ports in the United States. At the time, Secretary of Maryland Department of Transport Paul Wiedelfield spoke to the rescue of 2 survivors and the search for others.
We're basically searching for everyone that was potentially on the bridge. As you can imagine, it's the middle of the night. You know, what type of traffic was there? How many workers were there? Workers, they obviously come to a project, but other workers show up sometimes. So that's what we're investigating right now.
Russia has charged 4 men, it says, attacked a Moscow concert hall that killed at least 137 people. 3 were marched bent over with visible injuries into a Moscow court, while the 4th was in a wheelchair. All were charged with committing an act of terrorism. The Islamic State group, or ISIS, said it carried out a terrorist attack at the Crocus City Hall on Friday, described as the deadliest on Russian soil in years. Russian President Vladimir Putin has claimed they were captured while fleeing to Ukraine, something that Kiev calls absurd. And agents from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security opening an investigation on hip-hop star Sean Diddy Combs, searching his properties connected to him in Los Angeles and Miami. Ryan Chang has more.
Federal agents searched the homes of hip-hop star Sean Diddy Combs in Los Angeles and Miami on Monday. The 54-year-old, who has gone by P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, and Diddy, is one of the most influential producers and executives in hip-hop. He was hit with a federal lawsuit last year from a former girlfriend who accused him of sex trafficking. A spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security said the inquiry was directed by agents in New York, where the lawsuit was filed. Official statements about the investigation revealed little about what exactly prompted the searches. Homeland Security investigations have broad jurisdiction to look into the illegal movement of people, goods, and more across the U.S. borders and within it, including sex trafficking. Last November, R&B vocalist Cassandra Ventura sued Combs in federal court in Manhattan. She had accused Combs of subjecting her to serial physical abuse, sexual slavery, and rape. She alleged Combs regularly beat her over the course of a 10-year professional and romantic relationship, controlled her through intimidation, and gave her drugs and alcohol. The lawsuit cited violations of sex trafficking and human trafficking statutes under federal, New York, and California laws. Combs, through his lawyer, flatly denied the allegations. The next day, Combs and Ventura jointly announced they had settled the case out of court. Terms of the agreement were not disclosed. The lawsuit by Ventura was one of at least 4 civil complaints brought in recent months, leveling sexual assault allegations against
Still
Combs.
to come in Our News, Today in History. Find out interesting facts about the day that was March 26th. And then in Our News at 7:30, an eyewitness account of the morning robbery of Quality Supermarkets on Cable Beach. And An Ounce of Prevention, a journey to better health for men over 40. A new Our News series kicks off tonight. That's coming up when Our News returns.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions. Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
Are you?
Welcome back to Our News. It's now time to turn our spotlight on events that shaped the day that was March 26th. On this day in Bahamian history. On March 26, 1672, the deadline set by the Lords Proprietors of Carolina for people to settle in the Bahama Islands with a land grant of 50 acres expired. This offer was made to establish a sustainable colony in the Bahamas. It also included the promise that each free person would be granted an additional 50 acres of land for each dependent. The first English settlement in the Bahamas was on Eleuthera in 1670 after the King of England gave the Bahamas to the Lords Proprietors of the province of Carolina. Fast forward to 2014, that's when then Central and South Andros Member of Parliament Picewell Forbes apologized in Parliament for his laughter after then Tall Pines MP Leslie Miller joked in Parliament about abusing an ex-girlfriend earlier that year. Forbes, who was sitting next to Miller at the time of his communication, had previously told the media that he had, quote, nothing to apologize for, as the comments made by Miller were said in jest. Forbes went on record to express his objection to the physical abuse of women.
While I firmly believe the remarks were made in jest, by laughing, my reaction to the statement, which would have been signaled out in the local media, would have been made questionable to some and sane in poor taste to others. I take full responsibility for my behavior. It was never my intent to offend anyone, although I might have been seen or perceived to be offensive and insensitive in some quarters.
Then in 2020, Ministry of Health officials revealed COVID cases were climbing after the first case of COVID-19 was reported on March 15th, prompting a state of emergency. Then Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands pleaded with residents to stay indoors.
I cannot overstate this enough. Please stay at home. The purpose of the emergency powers order is to prevent the spread of the virus.
Well, to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, visit ournews.bs. Well, that does it for Our News at 7. Joining us now is our Italia Hall with the latest headlines. Italia?
All right, thanks so much, Marlena. Well, coming up tonight, a major cocaine bust in Maguana leads to the arrest of a Brazilian man, and a teen is charged with fatally stabbing a relative. Plus, airport officials revealed just how busy this Easter weekend will be. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30, busted. A Brazilian man is in police custody following a cocaine bust in Maguana, plus a broad daylight armed robbery at a local food store on Cable Beach. Our news team was on the scene. Plus, hear why the Deputy Prime Minister says the Free National Movement lacks credibility. And later, up and away. Thousands of passengers expected to travel through the Lynden Pinland International Airport this weekend. We have the inside scoop when Our News Live at 7:30 returns.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited looks forward to helping our customers eliminate wasted energy. Energy conservation is the decision and practice of using less energy. Energy efficiency means using less energy to perform the same task, unplugging appliances not in use. That's energy conservation. Replacing an old refrigerator, washing machine with a new model, adding insulation to the attic and walls of a home. That's energy efficiency. People conserve to gain more control over their energy bill and to reduce demand on the Earth's natural resources. Take this journey with us as we build for better. BPL.
I'm Michaela Kerr. I'm an 18-year-old freshman at the University of the Bahamas, and I'm a computer science major. I'm also the NT Corporation's Youth Ambassador for the Environment, and I'm an environmentalist. My journey as the environmental advocate began with a simple yet profound realization that our environment is degrading right in front of my eyes. And being NT's Youth Ambassador for the Environment means that my words and my actions hold the power to help change the environment and the world around me. I find it exciting that I can be a student, live my life, and use my words and my voice to change the environment and world around me. Most times I think it's a privilege. It's our environment and it's our generation to own.
Welcome to Our News. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. Some $75 million worth of cocaine seized on the island of Maguana. A Brazilian man believed to be in his late 30s is in police custody in connection with the mega drug bust. According to Inspector Cesarine White, police got a tip that led them to the Maguana airport.
They observed a small plane, single-engine plane, land at that airport. When the officers approached that aircraft, they observed 2 individuals exit the plane and fled into nearby bushes and making good their escape at that time.
A search of the plane revealed 13 sacks of suspected cocaine. While police found one of the men that may be responsible for the crime, another is still missing.
We are in the initial phases of this investigation, and we will certainly leave no stone unturned to bring quick resolution to this investigation.
While a popular supermarket held up by an armed robber this morning, the shocking crime unfolding at Quality Supermarket on Cable Beach just after 10 this morning, leaving staff and customers in shock. According to the store's assistant manager, the gunman struggled to access one cash register. After failing to open the first register, he quickly moved on to the second register and was able to grab the cash and run away. No one was harmed in the incident. A teen is behind bars charged with the murder of his 25-year-old relative. Prosecutors say it is alleged Topaz Ballou was fatally stabbed on March 22nd by the teen. He did not enter a plea to the murder charge when he appeared before Magistrate Algernon Allen Jr. along with his mother. He's next in court on June 27 to receive voluntary bill of indictment papers. Well, Deputy Prime Minister and Tourism Minister Chester Cooper slammed the leader of the Free National Movement, Michael Pintard, over his recent comments on the progress of the Grand Lucayne Resort and the Grand Bahama International Airport. Cooper says Pintard will say anything he believes despite the historical context. Cooper says it was the F&M that bought the Grand Lucayne Resort in a terrible deal, but under the Davis administration, the resort remains open. Cooper adds there continues to be a strong interest in the hotel, and at the appropriate time, government will reveal more. As for the airport, Cooper says demolition work has begun. The DPM claims the opposition leader nor the F&M has any credibility on these matters. Now the full statement is available now on our social media pages. The Lynden Pinland International Airport is experiencing a high volume of traffic. This as lots of tourists are in town for the spring break holiday. And with the Easter holiday only a few days away, even more visitors are expected. In this report, we speak with the Vice President of Operations at the Nassau Airport Development Company.
We've been meeting with our stakeholders, everyone from air traffic services straight to Bahamas Immigration Customs, U.S. Customs, and everybody else in between, the airlines as well, just to ensure that we have adequate staffing on place to manage peak time flows, passenger movements through the terminals.
Over 70,000 passengers are expected to pass through the doors of the Lynden Pinland International Airport this Easter holiday weekend. That confirmation coming from the Vice President of Operations, Jonathan Hanna. Hanna reveals the high volume of passengers is expected to begin on Thursday of this week. But where exactly are these visitors coming from?
We ourselves are asking ourselves the same question, but certainly, with winter sort of still continuing in the Northeast, I think a lot of persons up north want to get away, want to get to somewhere a little bit warmer.
And while it's been said that Bahamians are often not on time, he's sharing why it's important to be at the airport 3 hours ahead of your international flight.
If you're traveling domestic, I know there's a lot of domestic events happening right now, Regattas in some of the islands, Carifta here as well, but at least, an hour and a half, 2 hours before your domestic flight, just to give yourself that time to get through all the airport processes.
Traffic management is also a concern.
We ask persons who are picking up loved ones, friends from the airport, this is an active loading and unloading zone, so we really want persons to not park on the curb. We do have a cell phone lot that has free parking for up to 60 minutes. Once that loved one comes out and they give you a call, then come around, so that helps with the overall congestion on the curb.
All right, well, nice conditions on this Wednesday as temperatures are in the mid-70s, but we can expect a shower or two this week. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is live in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg.
Yeah, nice conditions outside, and it looks as though the Easter holiday weekend is going to be even nicer. We have a front coming through. We'll tell you about that a little later on. But yeah, beautiful day today and a beautiful evening setting up outside. 76 degrees with a few clouds and a little bit on the breezy side. Your winds out of the east-southeast at 10 miles per hour. Your feels like temperature is at 76. Satellite radar composite showing quiet conditions across our area. High pressure is in charge, a dry air mass in place, and that's keeping us rather quiet. A couple of spotty, isolated showers across the northwest Bahamas. Most of that will be staying near the Florida area. But this is the frontal boundary that we are watching. It should get in here by Thursday evening. Maybe an isolated shower, but once it gets out of here, nice conditions for the remainder of the week. That's your quick check on conditions around the island. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still looking.
Still to come on our news, are you over the age of 40? Well, listen up. Hear why a medical doctor says a standard test annually can make a difference in your health. Plus, bridging the gap. Tonight, we continue our series on millennial pastors in leadership roles. Hear why bridging the gap between the young and old generation is key for one pastor. And later, Rip the Runway, a fashion show on the island of Grand Bahama attracting a number of residents. We hear from some of the winners of the mega show when our news continues.
Under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited looks forward to helping our customers eliminate wasted energy. Energy conservation is the decision and practice of using less energy. Energy efficiency means using less energy to perform the same task, unplugging appliances not in use. That's energy conservation. Replacing an old refrigerator, washing machine with a new model. Adding insulation to the attic and walls of a home. That's energy efficiency. People conserve to gain more control over their energy bill and to reduce demand on the Earth's natural resources. Take this journey with us as we build for better. BPL.
I'm Michaela Kerr. I'm an 18-year-old freshman at the University of the Bahamas, and I'm a computer science major. I'm also the NT Corporation's Youth Ambassador for the Environment, and I'm an environmentalist. My journey as the environmental advocate began with a simple yet profound realization that our environment is degrading right in front of my eyes. And being NT's youth ambassador for the environment means that my words and my actions hold the power to help change the environment and the world around me. I find it exciting that I can be a student, live my life, and use my words and my voice to change the environment and world around me. Most times I think it's a privilege. It's our environment and it's our generation to own. I don't think as a young person that there's anything more rewarding than being a part of bringing awareness. I'm Michaela Kerr, and I'm making a difference in my own words.
You've seen electric cars on the road, but isn't it time you drive one? Easy Car Sales invites you to experience the smooth, powerful ride and immerse yourself in the luxury and latest tech features. Find out why the Bahamas is going electric. Visit easy242.com and book your test drive now. What are you waiting for? Save money, drive smarter. There's an EV waiting for you at Easy Car Sales.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call K.
They say the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. For so many men, the simple step to better health and a longer life begins with an annual physical. Well, tonight, our Jerome Sawyer takes us on a personal health journey, illustrating how we can learn so much through a simple annual health check.
This report is brought to you by Doctors Hospital.
My journey of discovery started at the Doctors Hospital lab on Carmichael Road. A few vials of blood drawn that day ultimately held answers to any unknown health crises in my future. The battery of tests included screenings for abnormal blood sugar signaling pre- or type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol and the potential for heart disease, or elevated blood pressure and the chance of a stroke, to name a few. For men like me in the 40 and over age group, there are physical red flags that could and should prompt an annual checkup.
If you're overweight or obese, you're at a higher risk for developing prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. Those are lifestyle illnesses, chronic non-communicable illnesses.
It's the type of diagnoses that Dr. Janet Martin, who heads the weight loss and diabetes program in Doctors Hospital Centerville Medical Center, sees regularly. Then there's family history.
So if you have a family history of high blood pressure, hypertension, we also, ask men to monitor their weight, monitor the types of foods you're choosing, because all of what you eat and your lifestyle, whether you're active on a regular basis, all of those account for increased risk.
Another health risk factor for men in the 40 and over club, cancer.
Years ago, it used to say you get your first test around 50. Now it's younger because men are being diagnosed at a younger age. And so we're looking around 40. I think that's the standard for prostate. If you're not eating a lot of high fiber foods, and if you're eating poorly, all those processed foods, then we recommend that you go and get tested.
The lesson here: your annual physical and regular tests are critical steps to a longer and better quality of life. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jerome Sawyer.
All right, thanks so much for that in-depth report, Jerome. And for you men over 40 and for ladies with men in your lives, stay tuned to Our News as Jerome Sawyer presents this series on men's health issues, brought to you by Doctors Hospital. While the journey of pastoring can sometimes present its challenges, specifically bridging the gap between older and younger congregants. Well, tonight our Bertie McDermott spoke to a Millennial Seventh-day Adventist pastor about the challenges and successes of leadership.
For Pastor Manasseh Sims, leading his Seventh-day Adventist congregation is an interesting experience that requires balancing. He says his congregation consists of different nationalities and people of all ages. So how does he bring it all together?
It's interesting. It's like, when you get a pot and you're just throwing all kind of different seasoning and meat inside there and you mix it up, it could taste good, depending on how you blend it. And then at other times it's like, woo.
Sims has been pastoring the Pargate Road Church for 3 years. He also oversees the Exuma district of Seventh-day Adventist churches. While it may look like a daunting task, Sims says he loves it. He says striking the right balance means keeping the responsibility of leading a group of people according to godly principles while showing them the reality of Christianity.
It's not just about the cliches. It's not just about coming and praising the Lord and lifting holy hands. Like sometimes you go into some tough times. Sometimes it's real. Sometimes you down and defeated. You don't want to pray. You don't feel like praying. What does that look like? And so I feel like blending the two in real time helps with helping the different age groups see that, hey, there is a role that is applicable to me no matter what stage of life I'm in.
Now, with pastoring a diverse congregation, Sims explains what he does to bridge the gap.
The older generations may feel, oh, we've done enough, we've lived through enough, so you need to automatically listen to us. And the younger ones are saying, hey, we are individuals as well. Our experiences are valid too. So you ought to give respect to the fact that I am living life for myself.
Personally, Sims doesn't find it hard to balance pastoring with his daily life. He had this to say to up-and-coming pastors.
Paul said something to Timothy in the book of Timothy where he said, don't let no one despise you because of your youth. Like, don't, just because you're younger, that ain't something to look down on. But be the example.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
When our news comes back from the break, fashion designers pulling out all the stops in Grand Bahama for the recent Rip the Runway fashion show.
Coming up in sports, Sunland Stingers Senior Boys Basketball is crowned the best of the best.
Plus cool and comfortable weather conditions in the capital today. Greg is back with more weather details right after this quick break. Stay with us.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions. embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business.
This is our news. Welcome back. The Sunland Stingers basketball program ends its season on a high note. Here now with our sports presented by 10th year seniors is Ronaldo Dorset. Ronaldo?
Thanks, Natalia, and welcome to Our Sports presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. The Sunland Stingers may have missed out on the Hugh Campbell crown, but concluded their season with a new title to the high school basketball scene, Best of the Best. In an all-Grand Bahama final, the Stingers defeated the Tabernacle Falcons 66-62 Monday night at the St. George's Gymnasium to win the inaugural Best of the Best championship. Edwin Ferguson delivered an MVP performance for the Stingers with a game-high 22 points. Noah Bain scored 18 for the Falcons. In addition to the top teams from Grand Bahama, the tournament field also included the Hugh Campbell and GSSA champion C.I. Gibson Rattlers, the BAISS champion C.W. Saunders Cougars, Anatole Rogers Timberwolves, C.C. Sweeting Cobras, and Bimini's Gateway Academy Eagles.
I'm so happy for our seniors. I'm so happy for those guys who are done. They're leaving in a bang, you know, and that's what we want. One of them have already committed to a college, so we're just excited, man. We're so excited.
In senior girls play, the C.R. Walker Knights defeated the St. John's Giants in a best-of-3 series 2-0. They took Game 1 47-34 and Game 2 30-26. Rainier Russell averaged 13 points per game and was named MVP for the Knights. Rihanna Green led the Giants at 14 points per game. A tournament of this nature featuring teams throughout the country was readily welcomed in Grand Bahama after the discontinuation of the high school nationals back in 2019.
Well, we want to try and make it an annual thing, you know, and I support the organizers of the Grand Bahama High School Association, led by Ozzie Simons, who is looking forward to finding more events again, especially in the game of basketball, to keep these young men and women active.
India Cartwright continues a record-setting year for Bahamian women in the sprint hurdles. After previously setting a school record for the Liberty Flames indoors in the 60-meter hurdles, Cartwright continued that momentum in her first outdoor meet of the season. The Flames junior clocked 13.53 seconds at Vert Stadium in North Carolina for another school record, this time in the 100-meter hurdles. The previous mark of 13.65 seconds stood since 2010. As previously mentioned, Cartwright also holds the 60-meter hurdles record for the Flames at 8.16 seconds. The youngest winner of the Don't Blink Home Run Derby at just 18 years old, Bryce Dean said the milestone moment has done wonders for his confidence headed into a pivotal 2024 season.
It was amazing. There's a rush of adrenaline, a rush of nerves, it's like multiple emotions all at once.
The Miami Marlins prospect spent the bulk of his offseason training at home, preparing for his second year at the pro level. The highlight of his offseason, celebrating the Don't Blink Home Run Derby title.
Definitely the pile-up where everybody came on the stage, rushed me, and we just celebrated, jumped up and down. It felt like brotherhood. It felt like a culture. I really loved that moment.
Last year, in 47 games of the Dominican Summer League, Dean hit .220 with 3 home runs, 20 RBI, a .346 slugging percentage, and a .716 OPS. That'll do it for Our Sports presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on Our News tonight, Grand Bahamians out in full force for the recent Rip the Runway fashion show. We have the story coming up, plus nice weather conditions outside the Our News studio this evening. Greg is back with your extended weather forecast when Our News returns.
All my ladies.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions. Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited looks forward to helping our customers eliminate wasted energy. Energy conservation is the decision and practice of using less energy. Energy efficiency means using less energy to perform the same task, unplugging appliances not in use. That's energy conservation. Replacing an old refrigerator, washing machine with a new model, adding insulation to the attic and walls of a home. That's energy efficiency. People conserve to gain more control over their energy bill and to reduce demand on the Earth's natural resources. Take this journey with us as we build for better. BPL.
I'm Michaela Kerr. I'm an 18-year-old freshman at the University of the Bahamas, and I'm a computer science major. I'm also the NT Corporation's Youth Ambassador for the Environment, and I'm an environmentalist. My journey as the environmental advocate began with a simple yet profound realization that our environment is degrading right in front of my eyes. And being NT's Youth Ambassador for the Environment means that my words and my actions hold the power to help change the environment and the world around me. I find it exciting that I can be a student, live my life, and use my words and my voice to change the environment and the world around me. Most times I think it's a privilege. It's our environment and it's our generation to own. I don't think as a young person that there is anything more rewarding than being a part of bringing awareness.
Welcome back to our news. Nice weather conditions on this Tuesday. Greg is back with your extended forecast in the Weather Center. Greg, I know earlier you had mentioned that we may experience a front sometime before the end of the week.
Yeah, one is coming on Thursday. That one is causing quite a bit of problems across the United States. As a matter of fact, they actually have snow on the west side of this front and some severe thunderstorms just ahead of the front. That's basically what we're looking at on our satellite picture. But that front will not drop too much in terms of any rainfall across us. By Thursday evening, it should get out here rather quickly. So the holiday weekend, this very long Easter holiday weekend, looking pretty nice to get outside. I know some people are heading off to the island. Wish I was making that trip.
For sure.
Yeah. Luthra, you guys, you have some fun this weekend for me. Frontal boundary, once again, moving across the southeastern United States. As I mentioned, a lot of showers and thunderstorms associated with the front, creating quite a bit of problems across the eastern side of the United States. Behind that, a drier and cooler air mass will be moving into our area, and that's what we expect for the weekend. This front should clip us by Thursday evening. A couple isolated showers expected with that. But of course, things will be quiet in the meantime as high pressure continues to dominate our weather. We also have a low pressure system out there in the Gulf of the Atlantic. That is creating quite a bit of problems for boaters and beachgoers. Rough surf, dangerous rip current, as well as some moderate to large swells still affecting us. That should subside by Thursday once the front goes through. And then we're looking at some probably some choppy seas quickly behind the front, and things should quiet down for the weekend. Future forecast showing quiet conditions across us, nothing in terms of any rainfall, most of the activity in the Gulf of Mexico, and that high will slide out towards the east. So by Wednesday, we expect that front in the western, the eastern Gulf, western portions of Florida, moving in near the Tampa area, and then by Thursday, that front will be swinging through South Florida and into the Bahamas. And as I mentioned, that front should fall apart. We expect 1 or 2 isolated showers with the front, not much in terms of any significant weather. Boating, as I mentioned, still a challenge over the next couple of days. We still have those swells out there. Small craft advisory is basically for the Atlantic side of the islands. Winds will be out of the east to southeast, 10 to 15 knot seas, 2 to 4 feet near shore, but they will be building up to 8 feet offshore and in the Atlantic in some northeasterly swells. High tide will be at 9:41 tonight with a low tide at 4 a.m. in the morning. For the southeast Bahamas, much the same, an advisory posted for the Atlantic side of the islands. East-northeast to east-southeast winds, 10 to 15 knot seas, 2 to 4 feet, building up to 8 feet along the Atlantic exposures in some moderate northeasterly swells. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, quiet conditions Wednesday, Thursday, we get a bit of some clouds, maybe a spotty shower. Temperatures will take a slight dip by Thursday into Friday, and we expect those temperatures to stay in the upper 70s. And of course, this holiday weekend, Easter, Good Friday, Easter Sunday, and Easter Monday should be pretty nice. So get outdoors and enjoy. That's a look at our weather. Back to you, Italia.
All right, thanks so much, Greg. Well, Grand Bahama's orange economy is truly taking off. This as the second Rip the Runway fashion show was recently held at the Grand Lucayan Resort. The event is the second of its kind to be held on that northern island in less than a month. The Grand Show gave fashion designers an opportunity to showcase their talent. A number of models hit the stage in several unique pieces that wowed the audience. Founder of the organization, Tanisha Pyfrom, says proceeds will go towards assisting those with cancer, while designer David Roll says he's excited to be a part of the show.
We have spent many restless nights trying to put off this production. I want to say thank you to those contestants who put in all their hard work, all the restless nights they have had, and in my opinion, everyone is definitely a winner.
Freeport is there, near and dear to my heart. My mom started from Freeport, and I know a lot of the younger designers. And as a designer that's, been fortunate enough to be blessed to be working in the U.S. now and all around the Bahamas or all around the Caribbean, I really want to show my support and, bridge the gap between family island designers and the rest of the world.
These winners say lots of time and effort went into preparing for the show.
All things paper. Everything was done with paper. Our evening gown was made with newspaper, and the swimwear was made out of loose leaf paper. And tape, wire, just everything paper, days and nights of just working on these outfits.
This is a group that we created to, display our creativity. And we wanted to show it to the world tonight at Rip the Runway 2024, and we sure did. Women evening gown.
All right, good stuff for the island of Grand Bahama. And with that, we thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Italia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.